Hi, my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. And first of all, I want to say welcome on in to anybody that is coming here new for the first time. I'm on a book tour today for Patty Murphy's book, and so I'm assuming that there's some of you here that are coming for the very first time to watch my video, and I'm so happy to have you join me. Just so that you know kind of the format of my videos, they are a multitude of topics. I am more of a lifestyle blogger. Greg and I wanted to give back in some way, and we asked Pete and Kate if we could do this, and they're just all for it because they also support World Central Kitchen often with their charity work. And so that way, for this month, every time you buy something, and there's a wide variety of things, they don't, like this one, it doesn't have my name on it. Some of the items do say Sloan Zone because that's where you are here. And so one of our community nicknamed me the Sloan Zone years ago. So I hope that you will join in supporting such an amazing charity. My brother, who lives in Asheville, North Carolina, was supported by the World Central Kitchen when they had the disaster just recently, where they had all the flooding. So it's near and dear to me, and I'd like to be able to, this month of December, give back a bit more. So I hope you'll join me. Okay, this is our monthly scavenger hunt day. That means that I'm going to tell you what to look for, and you're going to take a picture of it, and over in Quilt Along with Pat Sloan, you will talk about and share what the scavenger hunt is. And so it is, what kinds of sort of writing utensils do you use for your quilting? And do you keep them all in one container? Like for me, I have them all in my Sloan Zone. Well, not they're all, okay, true confession. I have them all over the place, but I like to put them in the mugs. And so this is the Sloan Zone mug that I have pens in, seam ripper, highlighters. Those are the things I have to use in the space here. And so share a picture or just tell us here at YouTube what you use to store your pens and pencils in your quilting space. The things for your quilting, not your kitchen and desk and office area. Those are not for today. Okay, so there you go for that. Oh, I brought these out. I forgot to show you. Here is the ornament, the Sloan Zone ornament, which is pink with red, and it's got a heart, and also the Society of Fabric Curators. Yes, us, right? There we go. So those are super cool. All right, what do we have on here? Today is also Santa List Day and National Cookie Day. So I do have a Facebook group called the Fireside Chat, Pat Sloan's Fireside Chat, and in there we talk about the topics that are not quilting, so that you can go over there and list your favorite cookies. You can give a recipe today if you want to list your Santa list. Do that all over at the Fireside Chat, and I will approve it there. My friends who help me with that, or myself. So share that today. Those are the fun celebrations of today. So I'm so excited about this book. This is by Patty Murphy, and here she is. But what really excited me about this was the zero waste quilting. So as you can imagine, the concept of Patty's book is about using up what you have and not including those wonderful scraps, the things that you are making another project and you produce a lot of little pieces that are not going to go into the current project, but they're not something we can, we don't have to throw them away. We can use them for something else. But let me take you back a few years with me. Do you remember, were you hanging out with me in 2021? The reason why the zero waste really spoke to me, that title, is because in 2021, if you will remember, let me just put a picture up. At the beginning of that year, I decided, because I kind of always wanted to do this and never had, I decided that I would sew every scrap I had into blocks, making lots and lots of blocks over the entire year, that if I could sew it up, I would. I was not going to toss anything that was remotely usable. So what I did over the course of 2021 was make 116 blocks. Now I have since made a couple of quilts with them. Let me just put one of the quilts up. I did that purple one, I think during that year, and I did another one or two that year. So let me just show you the stack. Here is still what I have, and you can go to the link. I did a post, what was it like to sew every scrap in the year, and so I have a link to that post here and a video, so you can go see. And I strung all of the quilt blocks here in my studio up on the wall, and this is still what I have, because it's not, sewing scraps and scrap blocks are not my go-to thing. I do enjoy it, but that's not the thing I primarily do, and so I have to incorporate those into my sewing. And I think, you know, Patty's book has really inspired me, because that is kind of how she thinks about things. And you can read her book and read the write-up. Oh, by the way, we're giving away one free digital copy of the book, and so somebody, when you go to my website today and you leave a comment, somebody will win a digital copy of the book, which means anywhere in the world. So that is super cool. But it's really inspired me to take these blocks out for 2025, the stack here, and sew them all up. Okay, let's make some quilts. And you know, these quilts of mine often will be charity quilts, and that, you know, I want to make beautiful things for people. So I am super excited. Plus I have that one red and white one. Do you want to, let me put that picture up. So this red and white one, that stack is still here. Let me grab it. There we go. See, there's those. That's still here. I have it, and I want to put that project together. Definitely be the first one on the list for 2025. So let's take a look at Patty's book. She took each of the projects too, and she tells you a little bit about what inspired her to do that particular project, whether it was the stack of fabric like the one on the cover, which is stunning, just stunning. But she was inspired by fabric that she had used for another project to create this one. You know, and each one has something that is near and dear to her heart about why that project is in the book. And there are 38 projects. A lot of them are small, which is wonderful, because you can just sew up kind of the scraps from what you're currently working on. I found that when I did that in 2021, that was the miracle of the project, was that if I had left them all till the end of the year, or this big pile of fabric, it would not have gotten done. All right, let's take a look. Let us look. The book has a little bit in the beginning here of, you know, a foreword, you know, there's all the projects, a little bit from Jennifer Sampo, and here's from Patty about the project, and then her thoughts about working with the scraps. And then she dives into tools and colors, because, you know, I don't know how you are, but I am a person who is, I am that controlled scrappy person. Like, I don't want to just have randomness. I like to have a little bit of structure in the colors and everything of what I'm working on. So that looks beautiful. Okay, so the one that I'm going to make one block. Okay, so here's some more just about, you know, how you put things together, how you think through this basic block construction. Okay, so now we're going to get to this one, which is called Metaphor, and these are 3-inch finished blocks, right? 3-inch, and so they are just as precious can be. And what she did is, for those of you who really like how that is colored, which is random, and the blocks are randomly placed, she does provide you with colorations so that you can simulate that if that's how you want to create yours. So you can create it more like, just like hers, which is super awesome. Here she has one with stars, and then let's see, she's got like a shoe bag. I'm gonna, yeah, see, you know, these are the kind of things where these are a little bit bigger scraps, but you could, you know, sew more strips together to make something like that. You know, you don't have to have it quite as a bigger piece, a pie carrier, and then she used the scraps from the pie carrier. There's a coffee mug. And there was another thing she did, like these makeup wipes, those washable, reusable, very good for the earth. You can reuse them. These weights, they look like fortune cookies, don't they? But they're weights with small pieces. And then, of course, this piece de resistance, what she call it? They got married. It's a wedding ring, a double wedding ring. But it is just the color, her color sense is just spectacular. So gorgeous, and how you put that together. And then this is very cool. So for those of you who are very interested in the Lone Star, there's one done with a lot of scraps. So you can see how a lot of Lone Stars you will have like the whole series of them will be the same, like the same color, then the same color, going like in a round, so they sort of radiate out. And this is all scrappy. So that shows you what a scrappy version looks like. Then some pillows. There's dinner napkins, coasters, lots of small placemats. But here it is with matchstick quilting. Look how gorgeous that is with the matchstick quilting. Just a beautiful way to use up those. And here's where the blocks are calmed down with a small inner border and then a wide sashing. Look how effective that is when you've used up, you've made these sort of what are universally, I think, called like crumb blocks, or a lot of small pieces, and these look like they're primarily squares and rectangles. So like for my stack over here, my stack, this kind of a layout could really work. So you can take things that you maybe already have, made and fit them and then add to them by using her pattern. Here's Amelia's Rainbow. Look at that. Look at that. So those of you who love the rainbow effect and like to keep your scraps, zippy pouches with their different versions, some trivets. And I like this. Like if you are doing an event, the fringe, like you can kind of like a fast, easy garland. Look how fun that is. And I think there's loads of events that we get involved in that could benefit from a fringe, a fabric fringe that we create. This poppies in Tuscany. Look, so here, controlled, right? It's scrappy. It's using what she has, but it's done with all these yellows and lights, like off-whites, whites with things, pattern in them. Just learning and looking at the color sense that she has is just, very inspiring, because sometimes we just need to see that. We just need to see how the colors look. Take a little bit and make a cute headband. Look at that. Look at that. Bookmarks and book covers and cord wraps. These are great little gifts too. Cord wraps, those kind of things. So, yeah, some more small little, what are these? What is this? I'm reading this upside down. Keep in touch. Oh, what is that? They're little postcards. I was going to say that, but I wanted to be sure. So, fabric postcards. Have you made those? Many of us have. Okay, here's another. It's called Misunderstood, but wow. And because it is primarily these blues, it looks like deep purples, and maybe there's a little pop of, there's like grays and other things in there, but the whole colors all together, that's probably got like a massive wow factor in person. It just has to. Here you go. And how many you do of each one, just how you get it together. Here's another medallion style. Yeah, so the same sort of taking that same concept and making it medallion style. A tote bag. There we go, tote bag. So this is, okay, and there we go at the end. Ta-da! I think that's the last one, right? Oh no, here's one more. The sachets. Got to get them all in. Okay. So I want to make one of those little blocks. And recently my scrap bags have been going to the charity groups, because there are people who love to work with this, and so and because I'm not really doing that right now, I've sent it off to them. But what I thought I'd do is make one of those tiny little log cabin blocks, and I was grabbing out some of the fabrics, and I thought, you know what, they would just be more awesome if they were starched. And I know like there's a lot of like, no for starching small pieces. Well, here's what I did first. Generally, most people recommend you don't starch like these skinny things, because this is only like 1 inch wide, and this is, what is that? Workable area is like 2 inches. That one's probably safer because it is going to maybe shrink a little bit and maybe distort. But what I'm going to do is just test it, because what do I have to lose? These are scraps. And I've covered my board, my wool mat. So I've just got some of this faultless stuff. And those of you who are starchers probably use the liquid, but I'm not a huge starch person. I don't really do it that often. Okay, so these guys are going to dry while I'm filming the rest of the stuff. So I'm doing this first, but it's kind of an experiment, because mostly I want to see what happens with this one. Does it distort? Does it shrink? It's 1 by 4 and a little bit more than 4.5, 4 3/4 barely. So, whoops, stuck to the roller. So I'm just curious, like if I don't touch it at all, it just lays there. It seems like it's not, but shrinking has to do because you've wet it. So it is changing the structure of the fibers by wetting it. So we'll see. But starching it for these small projects like this is probably better, but I know I can sew them without starching, because I have sewn strips like this without starching. But they tend to not be as crisp and flat as when you will use some starch. Okay. So now I'm going to go film the rest. Leave these sit and dry. Here is what I'm going to sew together. Taking from my scrap bag right here, I got blues and sort of off-whites and some light like ballerina pinks, and then using that stripe in the middle. I did try to put this one in. I first tried in the center, but it was kind of blah, and then I tried it on the side. It was more blah. It just had too much contrast, so it's not going to get used. So these are the ones that I'm going to sew together now, and I'll show you the block, and they're a little bit bigger. They're 4-inch finished, but like, look how adorable it's going to be. So let me do that. So here's my pro tip. I have not starched these little pieces, so I definitely 100% am pressing them after every seam and not finger pressing, because that is not going to get them nice and flat. I want them flat. If they were starched like these are dry now, and since they're dry, I can go ahead and press them, press this guy, and see how they did. So, whoops, sorry, doing this with a handheld camera. So here we go. Yeah, it's got a little bit of, I don't think it was hanging out over the ruler before, but I have to go back and watch the video. But it's pretty much the same length, and it didn't distort. Like, it didn't warp and turn sideways or anything. Yeah, I don't know, it's interesting. Interesting. People don't recommend doing this, but if you absolutely have to, maybe you can just try it on a little bit and see how it goes. All right, now I'm going to go sew the rest of the block, and we'll take a look at it. Looky how cute this is. Look how cute it is. Okay, so can you imagine a whole quilt like this with Patty's layout? Oh, so here it is again, where she was doing just, look at this. Look. So fun. I really enjoy working with these little things every so often. Like, I could turn this into, well, she's got a bunch of ideas in there for little projects. So if you did like a few little blocks, you could do 4 of these and do like, or a few more of them, and do the shoe bag. That would be super cute. So you could just have these little scraps and then have some bigger ones. So like where there was that long section, this should go in there for the shoe bag. Okay. So remember, go to my website today and you might be the one who gets a copy, a digital copy of Patty's book. I'm so excited. So I tell you what to answer over there. Remember, it's always at my website, not here at YouTube. And I answer you from my website, not from YouTube. So be sure you just stay safe. Don't let those scammers get after you. You know how it is on YouTube. You don't want to say anything about giveaways because it just generates craziness. And pick up some of the new things, this one or the snowflake, or if you missed out getting on any of the others, do it this month where you're contributing to the World Central Kitchen. So I'm so excited to be doing this fundraiser for them and to support the amazing work they do at disasters. All right, my friends, I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.